Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's Cruise Shop Save Live. Each week, I interview someone really special who is connected with the cruise industry and also luxurious shopping that you can find either on board the ship or ashore. And this week, it's my fabulous friend, Erick. Erick and I have known each other for a really long time. Um, Erick's got a great story to tell, and I was just chatting to him the other day, and I said, "You know what? I got to get you on the show, and you got to tell everybody." So Erick has since left cruise ships, and he now does exclusive trunk shows on board cruise ships, and he brings with you to you, sorry, a wealth of fabulous gemstones and jewelry and brands, and he's actually started his own business called Escape. And what Escape? Well, do you know what? Let me get Erick to tell you all about it. And Erick is also going to explain about one of the most popular gemstones that is available on his program today, which is Jade. So, hi, Erick. How are you?
Hi, Melissa. Hi, everyone. How are you doing?
I'm good. You know what? I was trying to explain it, and I thought, you know what? Let me just get Erick on because he's going to tell us all about it, right?
Of course. Well, you know me. Give me a chance to talk about myself, and I'm all for it.
Ah, I know, right? No, but it's not that. You are you're much more knowledgeable than I am about gemstones and jewelry. So knowledgeable, in fact, you have started your own business. But so we'll get to that in just a moment. Your business is called Escape. And but how did you get there? We'll expand on that. But what's your journey? Where did this all start years ago?
Well, it started a really long time ago. Right after college, I went to school in Canada, and I took travel and tourism, and I took a job guiding, first class tours through Central America, and that was for a first job out of college, an incredible opportunity. It really gave me the opportunity to explore some of those lesser known places in Central America, especially
Right,
in the Mesoamerica area. And in one of those, I met someone that worked in recruiting.
right.
And at the end of the tour, they said, when you finish your contract here, send us a message. They were based out of Montreal, and
Mm,
they invited me to come in for a lunch. And I went in for lunch, and I left with the promise of an airplane ticket. And
that's a
four
good
days
lunch.
later, I flew down and I joined my first ship ever, the Mariner of the Seas.
Oh,
I had seen a ship, but I'd
right,
never been on a ship. I had no idea what I was getting into. I
right.
definitely had no idea that that day was going to be the first day of what has been the rest of my life. Just
Wow.
absolutely incredible. And yeah, that's kind of how I started on ships. I
And what
started
year
in
was
it.
this?
Well, I like to tell people I'm still in my early 30s. So let's not do the math.
Let's not do the math. Okay. But it was a while ago. In fact, I have some pictures here. So, uh,
A moonstone ago.
okay, yeah. I don't know if this is in order, but I picked out these pictures because you have so many pictures on Facebook. And if anybody wants to follow you, Erick, they should follow you on Facebook because you're very active online. By the way, let's just say hi to everybody watching. Hi, if you're watching. Drop a hello in the comments and just let us know how you're doing. And if you've got any questions for myself or Erick, of course, we'll answer them. So, can I just start by sharing this picture? You might kill me because I pulled this from your Facebook, right? Check this out. I love it.
Oh gosh, that takes me back.
So,
Wow.
well,
That
it
was
might be obvious where this is, but just in case it's not, please tell everybody where this is.
so I that is in Egypt. That is at the pyramids, and
Mm,
oh gosh, that just brought me back. Look at that
right.
waistline.
I know. Oh my God, it's such a great picture of you. You look so cool as well with your Ray-Bans on.
Thanks. So I got the opportunity to sail a lot in the Mediterranean and the Baltic, and
Wow.
when we were doing some Mediterranean cruises, it took us down to Alexandria, and we used to do overnights.
Mm,
So I had the opportunity to go to the pyramid actually quite a few times, about half a
right.
dozen times, and the reason I kept on going out into port is because I was fascinated, not just with the opportunity to see these items that are millennia
Mm.
old, but the food and the
Really?
jewelry. I love food
Oh,
and I
yeah,
love
me too.
jewelry.
Me too.
and I absolutely fell in love with a lot of the designs, the history, the way that they utilize gemstones is so different than how we have as a society or as a culture become accustomed to using gemstones and what we expect from the gemstone to consider it valuable versus
Mhm.
how they use the gemstones and what they do in terms of styling and in terms of showcasing the natural state of the gemstone.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. But you've been so many places because then I have this beautiful picture.
Yes, that is in Athens, in
Mhm,
Greece.
mhm.
Again, I want to point out the waistline. If I only known then. And it's really interesting because just at the base of the mount where you have uh the Parthenon, I think it's what it's called, right? In
Mhm,
Athens.
mhm.
Is the Plaka. And the Plaka is one
Mm.
of Europe's oldest
Yep,
continuous markets.
it is.
And
Mm.
true
It's
to its
insane.
originals, yes, you can find some food
Mhm.
there, not really groceries anymore.
Right.
But there are a lot of carpets and
Mhm.
jewelry and just
Handmade
local
crafts.
artifacts and
Mm.
cafes and the best
It's
stuffed
mad.
grape leaves you can
Yeah.
ever find.
Oh,
Um,
so good. Yes,
and
Greek
I was
food.
doing business on the ship. My job was essentially to be on board and be a professional shopper and tell
Right.
people, listen, during your vacation, if you want to commemorate it, these are the popular
Yeah,
buys.
yeah.
And how do you make sure you're getting the best price, something
Mhm,
that's authentic? How are you
mhm,
going to contribute to the local economy and
mhm,
the local group of artisans,
mhm,
and
mhm,
really helping them make those connections? And that was my
mm.
job. So I had the opportunity to touch and feel and wear some of
Mm.
just incredible jewelry that they make in Athens. And honestly, their Byzantine style jewelry is
It's
still
lovely.
one of my favorites.
Well, some major brands have taken that Greek key design and actually implemented it into mainstream. So, and it just comes from Greece, and it's there's nothing
Yep.
nicer than going on a cruise and actually buying something that's related to that itinerary because you go on lots of cruises and lots of diamonds and tanzanites and they're beautiful, don't get me wrong, and there's some designers that have done such a great job with diamonds and tanzanites to make it really unique, but sometimes it's just really great, which is what we're going to get to in just a minute. But I've got a couple more pictures if that's all right with
Of
you.
course.
I love this picture because it just takes me back. I adore this picture.
Oh my gosh, this was in Florence at the Ponte Vecchio.
Ponte Vecchio. Yeah.
So, doing the same job, I had the
Yeah.
opportunity to go to various parts of Italy, and one of my absolute favorite was Florence. And
Yeah. Me
for
too.
those of you that don't know, Ponte Vecchio was originally constructed to house the slaughterhouses, the butchers, a
Yeah.
lot of those smellier types
Yeah.
of industry because of the water. So it would wash
Yeah.
away the waste. Well, the
Yeah.
smell got so bad, and because the Medici Palace is on the opposite side of where the town is, they decided to deal with that by kicking out all of the butchers and other tradesmen there, and instead fill that bridge because there is a tunnel that connected the private residence with
Yeah.
the castle downtown. They lined that with high-end boutiques. So it went from being butchers to fine jewelry,
Yeah.
confectionaries, and still to date, there are some stores that have been there for generations and are
Yeah.
operated by the same family, and they each have their own unique little touch. They all
Yeah.
have their own little specialty. And again, this is just one of those opportunities that being so young and being able to really not just read about it, but physically experience, because it's not just touching jewelry, but it's experiencing that Italian craftsmanship and their
Yeah.
interpretation of what fine jewelry is. It's just mind blowing. It was such an incredible opportunity.
Yeah. I love it. And you're smart, and I tell everybody to do this. You're so smart because everyone goes to that bridge and you can't move. You can't get a picture. And why would you go on the bridge and take a picture? You need a picture of the bridge and where you're standing, exactly where you're standing. And actually, just ahead of you, there's another bridge. So I used to always tell the guests, go to the other bridge and you just get that view. And yes, walk over it because you want the experience of walking, but you're literally like this walking over
You're
and
being
everyone
pushed.
keeps stopping and you're like this going across the bridge. And it's nice and you see all the shops and you actually can't get in the shops unless you ring the bell. They're very exclusive. And so you have to be a serious shopper. But you're smart. You got a picture from the side and that is such a fantastic picture of Punta Vecchio. Yeah, really good. There's so much
Thanks.
history there, right?
Oh,
And then I've got this picture. That's the
oh
uniform, right?
gosh. Yes, this is in Cozumel, and this was a victory picture. I
Really?
remember because every day I was in port, I would go out, meet with different vendors,
Yeah.
find out what's new and happening, so that next week when I was sailing to the same port, I would have an updated talk. I could share up to date news with inventory or new collections, new
Yeah.
gemstones, and I was always eager to learn. So I learned a lot from the people that sell the actual gemstones, and I would pick up
Yeah.
collateral and little gifts and prizes
Yeah.
that I get for my shows because I like to bribe people to come to my shows. So I always had raffles,
Mm,
and I was notorious for being like in the last 3 to 5 people that were
mm,
running up to the ship with my
mhm.
box of collateral and my
Yeah.
box of freebies. And usually I was
Yeah.
trying to eat some last minute taco,
Yeah.
and I was
Or
running back.
or
And I
drinking,
remember
what you
that day
call it?
because
Y
I
yeah.
showed up early. I was there like half an hour early. So we took a picture to commemorate it. It did not really happen that much that often
Right.
afterwards, but
That's funny.
yes. Oh, those days were
Great
so
memories.
much fun.
We worked hard.
We worked hard for our money.
And then look at this. Well, this is iconic, isn't it? What ship were you on, though?
So that one, I did a 42-day cruise on the Holland
Wow.
America Amsterdam, and we
Mm,
left from I believe San Francisco or Seattle. I can't recall, but it did 42 days down to Sydney,
mhm.
Australia, and we
Right.
stopped in American Samoa. We stopped in a
Oh,
variety of
wow.
different places, in
Yeah.
Papeete,
Oh,
just
wow.
some
You
incredible
have really
destinations.
traveled. You have traveled
And,
so
and really,
much.
that's the point of cruising, right? To go to
Yeah.
ports of call that you might not take a flight to.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
think that's where these unique cruises, that's
Yeah.
where the real, to me at least, the real value of the cruise
Mhm.
experience. Yeah, yes, those 7 days are wonderful, but those longer
Right.
cruises that take you to those ports of call that you're never gonna
Mm.
fly to, sometimes because they
No.
don't have an airport. And being able to
Yeah.
go out and spend a day in Mystery Island, those are
Oh,
the things that I thoroughly enjoy.
treasure those. Yeah, exactly. And then, oh, press the wrong one. This is you in action on board the ship. This was
Yes,
your job, right?
when I was when I first started in entertainment on ships, and then I moved. I was hired by a company that did the brand marketing, and they were
Mm,
the at this time they were one of the largest mixed media companies
mhm,
in the industry. They're
mhm.
part of the LVMH group. And
Right.
I had the incredible privilege of being able to welcome guests on board, give them the highlights, the how to get into town, how to come back, what are the taxis or situation, what are the tips and tricks to make sure they were making the most of their time, even if they weren't
Mhm.
going on a cruise,
Yeah.
on a cruise tour, how they could make the most of their experience. But I also got to talk about the shopping, and I think those people that I met back then, and I've connected with so many. Like you said, I'm so active
Mhm.
online because I've met so many incredible people throughout the 14 plus years that I've been on ships, or ship
Yeah.
related.
Yeah.
We still talk about jewelry, or I'll get a
Yeah.
picture and be like, oh, I wore this piece that you helped me
Yeah.
buy
Yeah.
in St. Petersburg
Amazing.
in Russia. You helped me buy this piece.
Oh,
I wear it to
did your
my. Oh,
camera
what
change?
happened?
I know it. It.
Am I? I think that's a user error. Why don't you put a little video on,
I'll
and
put the
I'll try to
video
see
on
if.
now, and
Yeah.
I'll just do a little talk. I'll do a little film. We've got some video anyway, so
Like I said, originally these are.
let me set this up. This is Eric in action on board a ship. This is how big his events are.
Like I said, originally these are Who's Heard of Me Tomorrow. So this was the first one that was harvested, and then we also get them now in China and Vietnam. Now the Aqua Pro, I'm not sure if the coloring is on there pretty good. Just a couple of facts. These are facts that are pretty standard for most pearls. You have the primary color for the Akoya pearls are white. They are a 2.5 to a 4 Mohs scale. If you don't know what a Mohs scale is, it's how they grade gemstones. 10 being a diamond, 1 being talc, so extremely soft. So this is a 2.5 to a 4, which means it's a very soft gemstone. This is the birthstone for June babies. Any June babies here? Congratulations. And it's also for
So, um, I
back.
think you're
Am I
back. You got
falling
your
off the
technical.
screen again?
Well, that was I was actually getting into that, but the sound I could hear it. But what were you doing there? You were doing a presentation, weren't you, on one of your
I
travel shows?
was so because I've always enjoyed gemstones, I found myself gravitating to talking about gemstones
Right,
when I was doing my shopping talks for these
right.
different ports of call. And because of that, I had the incredible opportunity to be invited again now that I've launched Escape. And they, the cruise lines were like, hey, why don't you come on board and do what you do? And you're obviously working with something new and exciting. So why don't you bring it
Hmm.
on board and talk about it? So on that particular run, I was on a 2-week cruise to Hawaii.
Oh, nice.
So I left, yeah, some of us have got to suffer for the sake of business. So two
Yeah.
weeks to Hawaii it was. And I hosted a variety of different seminars. And this is from one of them. I was talking to them about the entry level information about pearls
Hmm.
and, how to wear them, how to take care of them, and
Very
how
useful.
to, yeah, how to
Mm,
shop for them. And I think that
mm,
that's really what drove me with Escape. It was really truly about helping people understand how to curate
mm,
their experience. So
mm,
whether they were curating a jewelry collection for themselves, or maybe they want to add a legacy piece, something that
mm,
their family will enjoy for generations to come,
mhm,
understanding what you're buying is
mm.
so incredibly
So
important.
important. Yeah,
So that's
definitely.
why I do those little seminars. And like I
I
told
love
you,
it.
I tend to do raffles, so I always bribe people to come.
No, we love a raffle. Everyone loves a raffle. But you know what's interesting is that you have so many great products that you feature on your website. And I have actually put in the comments here your website. It's down. I put it here. Curate your escape. So people should click on that and take a look. And it's insane how many products you're there. And we could talk all day about it. But tonight we're going to focus on Jade, right? So
That's
let me
right.
just before we start, because I want to show people, because when you say jade, I think green, right? But I'm just going to show this video and then I really want to know what's going on. Just watch this. So that shocked me. First of all, stunning. Why? How many colors do they come in? Why is there so many colors? That's insane.
Well, jade is essentially what we know as jade in the trade is essentially two different stones,
Right.
nephrite and jadeite, and it goes back and forth between what is more valuable depending on a variety of different things like luster, inclusions, clarity, translucency, size, grit. There's a bunch of different things, but what I love about jade is the fact that it comes in so many colors. You can find them. Jade itself, the stone, the mineral, is actually see through. It's clear,
Oh,
which is
wow.
why valuable jade is translucent.
Yeah.
The way it gets its color is either from it being created while with a foreign mineral or
Right.
chemical coming
Right.
in while it's heating up and cooling down in the Earth's
Oh,
crust,
wow.
or by creating a layer, almost like a crust on a bread, on
Uh-huh.
the outside of the jade.
Oh,
So, depending on what part of the boulder you're working with, you get the
right.
different colors.
Wow.
Not all colors are available everywhere. In fact, there are my favorite, which is blue jay, which is what I'm wearing, and it's
Yeah.
really what I love to talk about. Um, there's maybe 20 areas in the world where we can find jade currently. Of those, there are 3 places that are actually commercially producing jade,
Oh,
and that
wow.
is China, Myanmar, Burma, and
Uh-huh.
Guatemala. And
Okay.
of those, there are two places that are the larger producing, and those are China and Guatemala.
Okay.
And
Wow.
in terms of different colors and color varieties.
Mhm.
And what's so incredible is that there are I tell people, people say, oh, I don't like green. I'm like, that's because you've only ever seen perhaps emeralds as being the
Right.
green that's presented to you in jewelry. And with
Yeah.
jade, you have
It's different.
just so much variety, so much
Yeah.
versatility.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely incredible. But you get your whites, your lilacs, your ambers, your yellow jadeite, you get your red jadeite, you get black
Beautiful.
jadeite.
Yeah.
um there really truly is just incredible. And my favorite being from Guatemala, which is where my family's from, is
Wow.
the Guatemalan blue jadeite, and that is
Wow.
just stunning.
Can we see it in this video? Let me just play it one more time. Mm,
Blue and then green.
blue and then green.
And we
It's
have some in
stunning.
there. And and it's interesting because I carry jade, both nephrite and jadeite. But
Right.
the opportunity to buy jade and jadeite from me comes to the guests on board ships,
Mm.
because I believe in the explanation, and for
Mhm.
you to be able to see the gemstone, because I can make five necklaces that are the same, and each
Mm.
one will be a different shade. So
Right. It's unique.
I don't believe it's fair to represent one on a website and then let
Mhm.
you basically get whatever I chose to put in a box.
Right.
I
So you
want you
like
to
sell
fall
it in
in love with it.
person. Yeah.
I love this gemstone
You have
so
to
much.
touch and feel it and look at it.
That's
Yeah.
exactly it. That's
Yeah.
exactly it. It needs to connect with you, right? It's kind of like
Yeah.
buying a diamond. Would you buy a diamond on a website? Yeah, if I
Yeah.
sell diamonds on the website. I have
Yeah.
colored diamonds, and you know
Yeah.
what you're looking for. And if
Yeah.
you're open to me sending you a piece, that's awesome. But at
Oh,
the end of
wow.
the day, what you want is to be able to connect, especially when it's a
Yeah.
brand new gemstone for you.
Yeah.
With diamonds, people have a little bit more understanding of what a diamond
Mm.
looks like, what it
Mhm.
feels
The
like, how it
size and
works.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
With Jade, in
It's different.
general, it's a relatively new but
Mm.
increasingly popular gemstone in North America.
Mhm. Let me show you. I've got another video here. Is that more the traditional what people are looking to
Yes,
buy? Yes.
exactly, exactly. And what we did with that one is we rope tied, and there is a small jade piece inside, alternating with the larger bead.
Right.
And we create pieces with jade on rope, with jade and silver, and we do
Right.
custom pieces with jade and gold. It really
Yeah.
depends on the quality of jade and
Yeah.
jade that you're looking for,
Yeah.
and what your intention is. Are you looking for
Yeah.
something fashion, or are you looking for something fine?
Mhm.
And there is certainly jade for both types of jewelry.
Mhm. And then I've got another one here. Let's Can you connect with customers and have like a video call with them and show them like this?
100%. And in fact, that last video you showed shows the different colors of blue jade available.
Oh, and let me show that again because that's this. You're saying this is your favorite. It's beautiful. It's so soft and like fluid.
It
It's
just
natural. I love natural gems.
I agree. I share that with you. And I think that for a cruise, it is such an
Mm,
incredible purchase, because of the natural uh, inclusions or the variations inside the
mm,
jade. It does remind you of water, and it
mm.
reminds you
Yeah,
of movement. And jade has been used by so many different cultures in Mesoamerica, in North America,
yeah,
for centuries,
yeah.
and they all, you know, they 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 associated incredible things to jade. Each
Hmm.
culture associated something different, but this is a
Mm,
stone that was used as a tool. This is a
Mhm.
stone that was used as currency and a stone that is was used as jewelry for the elite, for
Mm.
the top warriors, for
Mhm.
the royal families. So again,
Wow.
this is a gemstone that has always been
Class.
valued.
Yeah.
What color is valued is different by culture. So
Yeah.
the Mayans would have had a different
Mm.
appreciation. So it really comes down to, for us, it comes down
Mm.
to more of a vanity thing. What color do we
Mm.
like?
What we
But if
like,
you're
yeah.
cruising and you're going to Alaska, or you're
Mm.
cruising the Panama Canal, these
Mm.
are gemstones that have literally been traded
Right.
in these ports of call way before. Um,
Wow.
Way before the Spanish ever came over. So
Right.
this is
It's
something
so much history.
that's incredible. Oh, I
Yeah.
agree. And if you think about it, jade was almost really forgotten about until the 1970s, when it
Really.
really started becoming a
Yeah.
little bit more popular here in North
Yeah.
America. It's always had a very important presence in Asia, but in the Americas, it was kind of a little bit forgotten because the history of the
Mm.
stone with its people had
Mhm.
been suppressed. Now
Mm.
that people are becoming a lot more aware of our cultural heritage
Mhm.
and the gemstones and the food that is
Mhm. Mhm.
associated with that,
Yeah.
it's really been an opportunity to reintroduce such an incredible gem. And as recently as in the last decade, there is now jade being mined in California. There's jade being
Wow.
mined in Canada.
Oh,
There's,
wow.
there's history of jade in Alaska. There's
Wow.
history, as of course, all around Mexico and in Guatemala. So
Wow.
this truly is a gemstone that speaks not just to the current culture
Mhm.
of the ports of call, but to the legacy that the
Mm.
ancient cultures. You
Mm.
can go to you can go on a cruise to Cozumel and take a tour
Mm.
to Chichen Itza. Well,
Oh,
you can't
yeah.
take a piece of Chichen Itza with you, but you can take a piece of
Some
jade
jade.
with you.
It's so popular. I mean, what do you what nationality do you find are buying jade or investing in jade mainly? North Americans.
Without without a doubt, the Asian market is
Right.
100% the strongest. Now,
Right.
we have seen in the industry a large increase in demand from the Asian market as the middle class grows and as the middle class standard of living has increased. The demand for jade in China, particularly,
Mhm.
has really boosted
Mhm.
the supply demand ratio there.
Mhm.
But lately, I'm going to say again, in the last 15 years or so, ever since there was a rediscovery of jade in Guatemala, and
Wow.
there was a rediscovery of jade in Canada, there
Wow.
in the last decade or so, the North American market has started seeing a demand for it. And
Wow.
recently, in the last 5 years, the
Yeah.
growth, the demand for the gemstone has been quite substantial. In fact, because I used to work with one of the rarest gemstones in the world, I used to
Yeah.
specialize in natural color changing alexandrite. And for
Yes.
those of you that have sailed, you know that that's such an incredible opportunity
It's an
when you get to
incredible
see it on
stone.
board
Yeah.
or in port.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of those fine jewelry stores that carry these
Mm.
incredibly rare, phenomenal, exotic gemstones,
Mhm.
now that they found out that I'm in Jade, they reach out and they say, hey, actually, we have a guest that a
Yeah.
client of ours, repeat client for 10, 15 years, that
Wow.
has been asking for Jade, and they
Yeah.
just haven't found the right dealer.
Wow.
And there is, like in any industry,
Yeah.
a lot of unfortunately not so clean cut
Right.
dealers in the trade. And
Yeah.
so it's incredibly important
Yeah.
to buy your items from a reputable source, to
Absolutely.
know what you're looking for,
Absolutely.
educate yourself. You
Mhm.
can reach out to me. I'm more than
You are
happy to
very
send you.
contactable, actually. Yeah. I'll
Yeah,
put
I
your
love being on. I just pretend like the internet is my jewelry store every day. So I just
I
figure
know,
I
I
show
love
up
it.
for work,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
log out when I knock out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. So what's next for you? Are you due to go on a ship with your Jade, or are you just like, I mean, you're busy. I can tell you're busy all the time. People are contacting you. What's next for you?
Well, right now I'm in Palm Springs,
Nice.
California, and
Lovely.
surprisingly, I have been invited to host some events around town here, and
Nice.
we are waiting on confirmation for a few ships to sail the Panama Canal and do
Oh,
that
perfect.
leading
Yeah.
from now into the new year,
Oh, wow.
and then. This Alaska season coming up, Alaska 2025,
5, yeah.
is looking to be our biggest uh, year yet, because not
Wow.
only will we be bringing on board, usually it's myself, but we're bringing on board some team members to help me
Nice.
bring the collection because it does so well in Alaska.
Wow.
And to really have someone specialized, dedicated to this
Mhm.
incredible gemstone on board
It's very
is
important.
such an asset, especially because
Yeah.
I sail always with my two of my favorite gemstones, which are jade and pearl.
Right.
So
Okay.
I always travel
Perfect.
with both. So
Yeah.
it's an incredible opportunity to just make that
Wow.
connection for people
Well,
looking for that authentic experience.
absolutely. So will you keep in touch and can you can you post in the group and on our platforms, just let people know where you are? You know, because
Oh,
I think it'd be delightful for people just to meet you in person because I've always loved our chats. And I know you're a really busy man, and I really appreciate your time today. And yeah, I'm going to put all your social media because I actually find your, your clips on Instagram and Facebook really helpful and beneficial because there's a lot of fake information out there and it's not correct. And they definitely, if it's jade or pearl or any other gemstone, they should listen to the experts. And I consider one of them. You know way more than I do. So I really appreciate your time.
it's a passion, and I'm always happy to talk gemstones. And even if it's a gemstone that I might not know the specifics about that gemstone,
Right.
I am by no means someone that knows it all. I am
Right.
so fortunate to have in my network the people that might
Yes.
know a little bit
Yes.
more. And in
Yes.
fact, we I work with people that have named gemstones, people that have
Wow, that's
discovered
insane.
products. So I'm always
Yes.
happy
You're always
to make
connecting
those
people.
connections.
And I know you recently helped one of my was someone who contacted me for a rare Rolex and you helped me with that and they're delighted. So they've got that Rolex. So it's
Oh,
things like that.
wonderful.
You're a connector. You know, if I need something or I know somebody that's looking for something, I always think of you, Eric. I always think of
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, you just
And you know
I
me,
don't
I
know how you
always
do
try to
it.
make my friends I always
I
try to
just
make
don't
my
know how you
friends
do
look
it.
good. So
Yeah.
I always try to be
Oh,
very, very mindful of that. And I think
yeah.
that it's not just shopping. This is literally adding to your legacy. This is something
Right.
that we enjoy forever.
Mm,
And I take that so serious. I know
I
I'm not
know.
I'm not curing any illnesses or solving world peace, but I think
You're bringing a lot of
in
joy to a lot of people, and you're doing
and
it right because
I love
people
that. I
when they
love that. So I
travel,
will
yeah, well, yeah.
I will definitely post with you. I'll share with you my
Thank
next
you.
confirmed sailing dates. So if
Yay.
I'm going on a ship, I'm going to do that. And if you are watching this, when you see me on board, tell me that you are a friend of Cruise Shop Save, and I will make sure to give you a little special treat.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Eric. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for everybody for watching. A lot of people watch this later on as well. So if you've got any questions, put them in the comments. We'll get indication. I'll put all Eric's links in the comments as well. Thank you so much for your time, Eric. I really, really appreciate it. And this has been a delightful learning experience for me about the beautiful Jade. I love Jade. Hopefully I can have a piece in my wardrobe one day because I've always loved Jade. It's
I'm
beautiful.
ready for you.
I'm coming over. I'm on the next flight. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care, everybody. Bye. Bye.